welcome back to the Vegas Baby channel. This is a special one-off about handpays, as you might have been able to tell from the introduction there. But it's more specifically about handpays if you are a UK visitor gambling in Las Vegas and what happens with the tax and the ITIN situation. We get asked about this a lot, we get a lot of messages through, so we thought it was just easier to combine it all in one video and put all of the different scenarios in there. We have been very fortunate enough to get a few handpays while we visited Vegas. We've had a couple which have just been between me and Michael, just the two of us gambling together, and we've had 5 or 6 when we have been hosting a group poll and there's been a group of us there. So we do have a bit of experience of various different scenarios in terms of having the ITIN, not having the ITIN, and gambling at different venues in Las Vegas. So what we thought was a good idea to do would be to share those experiences so that you go well informed and you know what to do. The last thing you want to be doing is dreading getting a handpay because you're scared of what it means, whether they'll take tax off you and how you then claim it back if you need to, because we want to enjoy all of the handpays. So anyway, without further ado, we will share our experiences, the different scenarios, and we will also talk you through which casinos take tax off you, which ones don't. If they do, how you go about claiming. So we'll go through the whole process in a very quick video just so that you have all of the information you need. So the 3 scenarios we're going to look at are: 1, you win the handpay, you're taxed on your winnings and you have to claim it back and apply for the ITIN yourself. You win a handpay, you're not taxed on your winnings and the casino applies for the ITIN. And thirdly, you win a handpay with an ITIN. Before we go any further, there's a few basics you need to know. So UK gamblers do not pay tax on their US gambling winnings due to a tax treaty between the 2 countries. You are entitled to the full amount. Some casinos are certified to pay you in full, others are not, and we'll go through these in detail. And finally, if you're taxed, you do need to file a US tax return in the next tax year to claim it back. In terms of slots, a handpay value is $1,200 in one win. That's important. You can win more than that, but if it's in several wins in one go, it won't count. It has to be $1,200 in one win. So we look at the first scenario, the easiest first. You win a handpay with an ITIN. ITIN stands for Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. An ITIN basically means that you have an identification as a US taxpayer. So for this reason, you cannot apply for an ITIN until you need to file a US tax return. You cannot pre-apply for the ITIN just in case you get a handpay. However, if you have an ITIN, then you can gamble at any casino in Vegas, and no matter what you win, you will receive the full amount because you are already on the tax system in the US. The only proviso is that you must have to have the paperwork with you and you must have your passport and ID with you at the time. Okay, let's look at the next scenario. You win a handpay, but you do not have an ITIN. As I mentioned earlier, some casinos are certified to process your ITIN application and some aren't. If you don't already have an ITIN, it becomes important where you gamble if you don't want to be taxed. For casinos that have the certification in place, they will pay you the full amount, not taking any of the tax away. They will then fill out the ITIN paperwork and give you some paperwork to take away. You then have to do nothing other than wait for the ITIN to arrive through your letterbox a few months later. The only thing to remember on this is that if you did get a subsequent handpay while you were away, you would be taxed on that at a non-certified casino. For casinos that do not have this in place, they will tax you on your winnings on the spot. That means you'll have 30% tax taken off you in the casino. You will then be given some paperwork. You will have to go home and claim the tax back independently the following tax year at your own cost. We will talk you through how to do this. So let's first take a look at the casinos who will give you the full amount and they will arrange the ITIN for you. So the first group are MGM properties. So we're talking Bellagio, Aria, Park MGM, MGM Grand, New York, Excalibur, Luxor and Mandalay Bay. They will sort all of that out for you as long as you have your passport with you. The next hotels that will do this, the next casinos are Venetian and Palazzo. We spoke to a nice slot attendant there who confirmed it, and Wynn and Encore. So that means if you do not have an ITIN, you can gamble with confidence in these casinos. Now let's look at the opposite, the ones that will tax you. That is Caesar's properties. So that is Caesar's Palace, Planet Hollywood, Paris, Horseshoe, Cromwell, Flamingo, Link and Harrods. Caesars did confirm that they used to sort the ITIN out and they no longer do. So just be aware of that if that's happened before. Other properties that will tax you are Treasure Island. We spoke to lovely Joe at Treasure Island and Results World. Now, Results World did say they have applied for the correct certification, but with them still being new, it hasn't yet come through yet. Finally, all downtown casinos, no matter which ones they are, none of them have the certification. So if you get a handpay downtown, you will be taxed. The ones we aren't sure about are listed here. Fontainebleau we feel will be exactly the same as Resorts World and that they'll be too new. Cosmopolitan we think will do it because they're going to be MGM. The others we just could not get in touch with anybody to confirm or deny. So let's look at our third scenario that you've won a handpay and you have been taxed. The first thing is don't panic. The good news is you can claim the tax back. The bad news is it might cost you. When you do hit that jackpot, the slot attendants will have a clipboard with them, which will have one of these forms on it, which is a 1042S. This is your confirmation of your payout and you must keep that safe at all times. When you want to claim your tax back, there are two different ways that you can go. The first is to claim it back directly with the US government. Unfortunately, it is cheaper, but it's riskier as you have to send all of your original documents, passport and everything to the States. If you want to find out more, go to the IRS website. The second option is to claim it back through a UK-based certified acceptance agency. This is safer because everything is based in the UK, but it does cost. You need this website to go on, which is the irs.gov, individuals, international taxpayers, acceptance agents, United Kingdom. It's a bit of a mouthful. But what that'll do is that will give you a full list of all UK-based agents that can handle this on your behalf. You can see there, they're everything Bromley, Edinburgh, Aberdeen, whatever. So you can just go down this list and you can contact them directly to find out their fees and their timescales. The agent we used was Owner Tax and Accounting Services in Cheshire because they were closest to us. I have asked them and they're happy for me to share their details. So the gentleman that I spoke to was Stephen Harter and his email address and phone number are here. Now the agency will send you two forms. One is the 1040NR, which is how you file your US tax return. And the other is the W7, which is for the ITIN application. You will need to fill them in and send them back. They do need to see your passport, and they also need to see you physically. So you can either visit the agent directly and take your passport with you, so they see you and your passport together, or you can send them your passport, all recorded delivery, and you can do a video link call with them so that they see you, but they must have your passport in their hands when they do that. In terms of fees, Owner Accounting's current fees are £480 plus VAT for this application, which is the tax return and the ITIN. Now, you need to make a decision based on how much your jackpot hand pays as to whether it's worth claiming that back. However, do remember that you will get an ITIN from it, so it means that in future, any hand pays, you will have that security with you. In terms of timescales, the US tax year runs from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. You can't claim until the following year. So any winnings in 2024 can't be claimed until 2025, and once all the paperwork has gone through, it will take 4 to 6 months for the full turnaround. So that's the end of our video. Hope you've enjoyed this little whistle-stop tour of ITIN and taxes, and we hope you have many, many hand pays going forward. Good luck.